Start?
Still light out.
Camera boy's giving us the okay. Hi, folks!
Live Thursday night on our 7 o'clock seminar. 7 o'clock, right?
It's 7 o'clock, yes. We're doing things a little different.
We're I guess we're gonna go over a few sea stories. You know,
Yeah,
usually we're at
Do you want to go fishing?
Yeah.
Do you want to go fishing? What? Do you want to go?
Everybody knows flounder. Okay. Usually we're either at J&B. You know, we showed you
on the
guys.
boat. We're doing things different tonight.
Tonight, where are we? Where are we right now?
We're at. I'm not saying where we are. For God's sake, we'll have 1,500 people here tomorrow. You know?
We do have a nice.
We're
spot.
somewhere in Meriden.
Meriden.
Smith Street in Meriden. Yeah.
Instead of talking,
now watch. Somebody in Meriden's going. They know Smith Street in Meriden. We're 25 Smith Street, Meriden.
Instead of talking tackle and rods and bait and squid and fish, we're gonna do a couple of sea stories, right?
Yeah. We're gonna start off with. I'm gonna just explain. I want to explain a little bit about harpooning.
Why are you standing up?
I'm getting excited.
I know.
This is.
I can see.
I gotta tell them. This is without a doubt, and I have verification over here. This is without a doubt the most exciting thing that's happened to me.
Now you're gonna make me stand up because I can't read you.
Oh, Mike, are you looking at my backside?
No, I just can't.
Oh, here, I'll move this over. Okay.
Well, I can't back up. I got a fire pit behind me here.
Okay.
I'll be on fire.
Out of all the things I've done in the fishing industry and all the things I've done in life, there is nothing that comes close. There is nothing. Let me repeat it. There is nothing that comes close to harpooning fish, giant tuna, and swordfish. It was the cat's ass, I'll tell you right now. That's all there is to it. It was the best. The best. And we saw it at its best. That said, I'm just going to explain a little bit about that. You see it on Wicked Tuna, my buddy Paulie there, and I'm going to this is a dart. This is the business end of a harpoon. This is attached to a line, okay, and goes up. In fact, there's a harpoon. Show them. There's a harpoon I have in my log cabin here, right here. That harpoon right there, the last fish I stuck with that harpoon was about a 425-pound swordfish. But let me explain how it works here briefly, because I want to tell you a story about it, okay? You can correct me, Jeff, if I'm not, I'm not right. You got a harpoon, okay? It's just a piece of aluminum pipe. And you can see it's 18 feet long. At the end of the pipe, we put lead in it. Depending on if we're giant tuna fishing or if we're sword fishing, how much lead you might put in it. At the end of it is a steel shaft. Okay, now this dart goes on the shaft right there. And then it's attached to rope. Okay, the dart is up there and it's attached to rope to the end of the harpoon, and then it goes into a basket with 600 feet of line in it and a flotation ball. So when you stick that in the fish, the dart goes in and it toggles. Unless you go right through the fish. Sometimes a swordfish, you might button it. You go right through the fish and turn it over, but it buttons. And then it breaks off from the harpoon. The line goes out 600 feet, depending on how deep the water is, 400, 500, 600 feet of line and a ball. Flotation ball like in Jaws. So it's the real deal. Anyhow, that said, I'll tell you a funny story, okay? My buddy in Outdoor Life wants us to compile a bunch of... Can you move this?
I'll move that for you.
Please, that's Flounder's bed. Wants us to compile a bunch of stories from all the local fishermen. So this is one of them that's kind of funny, and it involves this Jeff Meek over here used to work for me. His brother Dickie passed away. But
Yeah.
how old was Dickie?
57.
57
2
when he
years
passed
ago.
away. 2 years ago. Dickie was running the boat. Okay, can you get me a?
What do you need?
What's your name? Can you get me a napkin? Of course. I want to show you something. The most exciting thing that can go on, okay? There was a guy, I never met him. His name is Craig Stewart. He was a fish spotter. He'd fly airplanes and spot fish for people, and he was a commercial pilot to do that, and he used to work out of Gloucester. When the weather was lousy up in Gloucester and he'd fly up, he would call me. I'm down here in Connecticut, but we could talk to each other because he's so high up in the air. And he'd ask me what I was doing that day, and no matter what I was doing, it didn't matter. We were going sword fishing. I pissed off more people. I'd have a charter on a half-day trip that was supposed to be in at noontime, and he'd call me at 9 o'clock, and we'd steam 4 hours to get to the dump where the swordfish are. And the guy would say, the customers would say, wait, we've got to be in by 12. I said, not today, buddy. Sorry, we'll be in about 9 o'clock. You know. Oh, we got a question.
You have a question?
What is
No,
it?
no question.
Okay. No.
How old are you when you first started harpooning?
This was back in the early 70s.
Wow.
You know. But anyhow, Craig Stewart's flying for me, okay? And the most exciting thing, you got the boat. Now I'm not good at drawing, okay? So let's just draw a boat. And I had a pulpit on the end of my the front of the boat, which is about 16 feet. So you could walk out on it. Now out here, here is where you'd be, okay? And the most exciting thing is Craig would find a fish. And he'd say to me, we'd be out there now in the right conditions, and he'd say, okay, hook it up to the east, hook it up. Go 3 miles. We got a fish up on top. Okay, go. And as he would direct the boat to the fish. Okay, and
they would do that like the clock. In other words, if the fish was to your right, he would say, come to 3 o'clock.
Yep.
25 boats.
Yeah.
Because they could. From up in their height,
they could see the fish. They see the
length
whole
of your
picture.
boat.
Now, a lot of times, if this is the water, the fish might be down here. Okay, swordfish. You know, it might be 8-10 feet underwater. You can't see him until you get close to him. You know, but he'd direct the boat to the fish. You try to go down sun and down sea, meaning the sun to your back, so you're not looking into the sun. You're looking the sun's in back of you. And his brother, Dickie, was running the boat, and I was on the end of the pulpit. And we used to have a speakerphone out here so I could hear Craig. And he'd be telling you, okay, like you said, 20 boat lengths. Okay, a little bit to starboard. Okay, straighten it up. Okay, 18 boat lengths. Okay, here, fish is stopped. Keep going. Starboard, a little bit to starboard. Okay, straight. Port, Dick. Go port a little bit. Okay, keep going. Greg's about 15 boat lengths. 15 boat lengths, 12 boat lengths, you should see him. He's about 3 feet underwater. Holy God, I'm getting excited just listening to it. You know? And by the time you got up there, that fish was right there, and you could hopefully stick the fish. Well, this one particular fish, we ran on that fish probably 6 times with your brother. We went down sea. We went into the sea. We went across sea. The fish would go down and miraculously pop up again 1/4 mile away. So the one time when we got the fish, and you're not supposed to do this, but your brother was so pissed off about doing it, the fish, I'll never forget, because Craig's telling me, the fish is coming from our starboard here, and when he got about here, he turned, and he says, okay, he's 10 boat lengths, 8 boat lengths, great, you should see him, and I saw him, and I'm getting close to him, and Dickie gunned it, which you don't do. You normally don't change the RPM. You don't want to change the RPM. Out of frustration, he gunned it, and he shot me up just enough. Whack! Got the fish. I remember Craig Stewart going, finest kind. Ball goes over.
And another thing, like when you were just talking, like sometimes and they'll see the fish, he's 2 or 3 feet underwater. Well, swordfish, when they know that they glow like a purple, black light color, and that's a lot of times you can pick that color up before you're even 2 or 3 boat lengths.
It is without a doubt. And it's something that doesn't happen that often. It's past. I mean, we used to stick swordfish. We used to stick giant tuna. We have different harpoons for both. The giant tuna we're down deeper, and we'd put more lead in the front of the harpoon to hold it down. You know. But
I actually used steel water pipe. I was doing it too. Some
I
guys
used aluminum with lead.
A lot of guys that strictly do the giant fishing in Maine, the commercial guys, they'll use like 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch steel water pipe for that. So they can literally get up on the pulpit and get over fish and let it go and don't even got to just drop it right off.
We would giant tuna, especially in June. Remember them giants? You'd get a pod of I don't know, maybe 15, 20, 25 fish, and they'd be just underwater shining. You know how they turn like menhaden, like bunker? And everybody's trying to harpoon them, and we would always do it differently. If you had a school of them fish, let's just say they're like this, okay, and they're all going this way, you know, and you'd get boats that would come up behind them to try to stick them. We never did that. We always came in from the front.
Well, you even the same thing with a swordfish. With a swordfish, generally you take them head on, or come around and take them tail on. Like,
This was good because what would happen is we'd come up in here and we'd get close to them and we'd shut the engine off and glide up into them, and you'd never get the first or second or third fish because they'd always be aware of it and they'd go away. Which one you get is these back here, and they wait that 2 or 3 seconds, and that was it, man. That was all it took, you know. So most exciting thing I've ever done in the fishery. I've done a lot.
You know, you took up a little bit of my time. I've never harpooned a swordfish like what you're talking about, but I did catch a nice trout this morning.
You did? You caught a few of them, didn't you?
Man, did he hit that shiner like nobody's business.
You really had to hold on.
It doubled that tip over.
Oh, is it
The
6
tip went like this. Man, did it feel good. I can only imagine what it feels like harpooning a swordfish.
I mean, we catch them, don't get me wrong, we catch them rod and reel, you know, out in the canyon then, and catch giant tuna rod and reel, but to me, there was nothing as exciting as this. This was it. This was it.
once you've done it.
Oh, once you've done it, it's addicting.
Those,
And like I said, I pissed off a lot of customers. The guy would look at me and say, 9 o'clock, we're coming in at 9 o'clock? We can't come in at 9 o'clock. I got a doctor's appointment at 4:30. Not today, buddy. Sorry.
the fish nowadays are a little different from what you guys had, I would assume, right? As far as a giant tuna fish, a swordfish, it's not as good as it used to be.
Oh, God.
Right? I remember just a few years back, I finally harpooned my first giant bluefin tuna, and I won't say any names or any boats, but I remember.
Why, was it illegal or something?
No, it was not. But
Because I've known you've done stuff like that.
Well, maybe. Have you ever done anything illegal?
No, I'm illegal right
never.
down the line.
Never. Anyways, I can remember to this day. I'm putting the harpoon together. We got the fish on. A buddy of ours is fighting it. And I'm
Oh, wait a minute. You caught the fish rod and reel.
We caught the fish rod.
And you-
I know. I know.
Well, that ain't the same
No,
as
but I want
harpooning
to tell.
this.
I want to
For
say.
God's
I want to
sake,
say
you're
this
bringing-
little story. But I had the harpoon.
Okay, you're bringing it back to anybody can harpoon that. I mean,
Can you give me a break here?
Oh,
I'm not.
God.
I'm only 32 years old. You know. Anyways, so I'm putting the harpoon together.
You're a big 32.
Anyways, I'm putting the harpoon together, and I go to screw in the shaft, and I look at the shaft, and it's bent. And I say, the guy running the boat, I said, the shaft's bent. He looks at me with a dead straight face. He goes, bend it some more. So,
You know, I tell you.
anyway, and you know, it was. I didn't say a word. I just looked at him and said, and walked up to the bow, and that was the first time I harpooned my
It's
first
supposed
giant
to
tuna.
bend, too, by the way.
That's what I was going to say.
It's a
But I didn't
shaft.
know. Being my first.
You see a lot of harpoons today in tackle stores
They
that are
don't bend,
stainless steel,
and they rip a hole
and they
in it.
rip a hole in the fish. What you want when you go on a charter boat and you see a harpoon like that that's all beat up and the steel is rusted and turned, because what happens when you stick that fish, when you stick that fish at the end, if that's the harpoon, what happens? That thing will come back with a U in it.
Yeah, well,
You
when
know?
you're sticking swordfish, it would come back in an L to the end of the pipe.
Because when you hit the fish, when you hit the fish rolls and bends that steel. So that's why you want a mild steel that rusts and everything else. But you see these harpoons that are stainless steel, but they're on some of these yachts and these other charter
stick
boats.
the
They
sword-
never used them.
No, I know.
They're brand spanking new because they ain't been used. They ain't caught nothing big enough to
Swordfish
harpoon.
is too very soft compared to like
Yep.
some fish. You put a stainless steel shell, you'll have a big
Oh,
rip
you
in it. The
put
dart
a
will
big
come right
gash in it, you'll pull the dart out. You know. Go ahead, CJ.
I've also seen a couple of guys harpoon, not swordfish or tuna fish, sharks, and black out when they actually hit them.
Black out? What do you mean?
Like,
Pass out?
Like hit them so hard they don't remember anything, and they fall on the
The
ground.
fishermen don't remember?
Yeah,
Or
the
shark
guy
don't remember?
harpooning. Atlantic stump grinding. I don't know if you remember
What the
that.
hell kind of guys you go with?
Frank.
We won't. He owns a stump grinding company, but he literally blacks out when he harpoons the fish. It's the funny. Oh yeah.
That said, when you have a cockpit harpoon, if you're going to catch a big fish like he's talking, you don't use a harpoon that long. You use a shorter harpoon, and there's lead in that too, so that when you get that fish up alongside the boat, you're right there and you stick them. I mean, you stick them for all it's worth, you know. I mean, these fish are worth, I don't know what they're worth now, but they were worth a lot of money back then. I mean, we were getting $10,000, $12,000, $18,000, $20,000 for a fish.
Wow.
You know, so you didn't want to blow it. You know, that's all there is to it. You know, but
It's pretty.
We got any questions? Anybody asking anything about
No,
Harpoon?
everybody says it's a great story, and thanks for the
We
story.
did have a couple questions I saw go by, but I know George Dowery said hello.
Yeah,
We can
George
always
said
say hi to
hello.
George.
Hi, George. How you doing?
I did miss one of the questions.
Like Jay Chase wanted to know if you knew his father, Dwayne Chase. I don't know.
Did I?
I don't know who that is, or if you know him.
I'm so friggin' old. I can't remember what I ate.
I was gonna say, what'd you have for dinner tonight?
Pork chops tonight. We had it here. Yeah, like I said, my buddy from Outdoor Life, Jerry Bethgy, I'm sure you're watching this. Hi, Jerry. He wants me to compile a bunch of these stories and with other fishermen, and we're going to put a little.
Somebody wants to
book
know
together.
what size bag you suggest on the tail end of the line. I guess they mean ball.
What size ball? You usually. Oh, you know, that's a good point. I forgot about the downrigger because I think that's a big deal. You know, if you got a fish, let's just draw a fish down here, okay? I'm not that good. Swordfish, big sword. Okay? Here's the water. What we used to do, and this worked for us. I don't know if you did it. You can tell me. If that fish was stuck, okay, you harpooned him, and it's going up to a ball, we would take a downrigger ball, a lead downrigger ball on a shackle, and we would attach it to this line so that instead of going like that, the harpoon line would now go like this. It would go down, and the downrigger ball, and then it would go up to the ball, and it killed the fish a lot faster.
That's why the commercial tuna fishing guys in Maine now, when they use the steel water pipe, there's a ring on the end, like up there on that end of the pipe on your harpoon, and the line goes through the ring of the pipe, right?
Yeah.
So when you stick a giant, if they don't have the shocking tool that whacks them right off the bat,
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
when you stick them, right, the fish takes off, the pole falls out, and it flips the fish over, just like your diagram does with the ball.
This worked really good.
Yep, the pipe stays right
Remember,
with it.
what was the name of the Maine guys when they first came down? I got to tell that story. That's funny. The chair. Remember he yelled? The son of McNamara's or
No, that was Billy McIntyre.
McIntyre's. The McIntyre's. I got to tell you a funny story.
That guy's nasty.
Some of the commercial guys would hook a generator up. I don't know how they did it, but they hooked it up from the line down to the fish.
All of them have that now.
And I remember this is back then that the old man would be sticking the fish.
Yep.
And the kid would be up on the tower, and they'd stick the fish, and then the kid would say to his father, "The chair, Dad! Give him the chair!" Meaning flip the generator on and electrocute the fish.
Yep.
I'll never forget that. The
All
chair!
all
Give him the
commercial guys
chair!
have that now.
You know?
They
But
all-
that worked. Putting the
Oh, yeah.
downrigger ball really worked good, you know?
James made a comment. He met us earlier today when we were at Noank for our inspection. He's saying hello on Facebook. It's a new follower.
Oh, no kidding.
Hi,
Yeah.
James. How are you?
New Coast Guard inspector.
Yep.
The
Yeah.
Coast Guard inspector. Well, you're our first Coast Guard inspector that's said something to us. So hi, James. How
Thanks,
you doing,
James.
man? Thanks, man. It
We
was good.
appreciate the comment.
It was nice
Appreciate
meeting
the
you
follow.
today. Yeah, good follow up. You know. You got a story you want to tell?
I don't know if I can compete with you. I mean, how long you've been in this business for how many years?
Come on, you got any more trout stories?
I started
It was good for a trout
Yeah, have
story.
you caught a real big one, like a real slammer, 2 pounds, maybe 3 pounds? Do you stick them?
I got one like 10 inches.
Trout? That's what the hell he's talking about.
10 inches. No, no. That's a good trout for me.
I was. I got another one.
Yeah, no, you go.
Kenny Broder was in the cockpit with this. This was pretty good. The fishing. We'll take you inshore now. The fishing was. This was years ago. Kenny Broder, who is the owner and manufacturer of Striper Snacks, the real good inshore
Bucktails.
lure, bucktails,
Striped bass fishing.
striped bass fishing, blue fishing.
If
Kenny-
you don't know them, check them out.
Kenny,
Striper Snacks.
Kenny was working in the cockpit, and the fishing in the race was not that good. It was a struggle for all the charter boats. This is when blue fishing was big, bass fishing was big. So we decided we were going to do something different. Whether we're going to live or die by it, that's all there is to it. So we went over to Wilderness Point, which is outside Wilderness, very deep water, and we were going to try to use the downriggers ball with the umbrella rigs. And when we went there, there's there's lobster pot buoys all over the place, you know, and you had to be careful. We went there at slack tide, and Kenny drops the balls down the umbrella rigs, and I'm moving around trying to get on a good piece of bottom, and man, we hook up again. I said, holy mother of God, we got it here. And when the tide runs, these buoys go underwater. They go way underwater, so you have to have a mental note of the pattern that you're fishing on. I mean, if you were to be in a plane and look down on it, you'd see a lobster pot here and a lobster pot here, lobster pot here, lobster pot here. So you knew you had a little avenue to get up through. So we were doing it for 2-3 days. We had it down to a science. I knew exactly how far I could go up. If that tide was coming this way, I could go up so far to this pot and then turn and come down tide, get the fish. If we're fishing on a piece of bottom like here, you know. And so we'd get the rig set up, we'd put them in again, we'd come up, we'd hook up, go up to here. I couldn't go any farther because the pot's there. Can't go any farther, you're going to lose all the gear. So who comes over? Now, we've been doing it for like 3 days, 4 days. We had it down. We knew exactly what we were doing. And we're catching them every trip. My dear friend, Ben Rathbun, who has since passed away, but he's listening to me now. God bless him. It's like my father, okay? Ben was running the boat, and young Franklin was in the cockpit, and they come up here. And Kenny Broder is in the cockpit. And what happens is you get one boat here, and then you get Ben behind me, and the fish are right here. But what I'm doing is I'm coming up to the buoy, and before Ben can get to the fish, I'm turning to go down tide, if you're with me. Am I explaining it right? Yeah. You know? So Ben can't get to the fish. He can't get to the piece of bottom. I'm not going to let him. Okay? I can't anyhow because I'm up against the pot. So, man, I go up there. We hook up on both rods. Okay? And Ben is behind me trying to follow. And I have to say, Ben, I got to turn down. I can't go up any farther. He ain't getting to the fish, and he's livid. He's screaming at Franklin, and Franklin's screaming at him, and I finally told Kenny, because Kenny's going bananas, man. Like, I mean, we got him in the ring now, man, and we're going for the knockout. Now I said, Kenny, slow down, take it. And Kenny looks up, he says, like hell, we got him, man, right? We got him. I'll tell you, it's the 15th round, and we're taking the knockout, you know. And holy God, I'm telling you, if there was ever a fight in the cockpit, that's it. But there's nothing he could do about it, and there's nothing I could do about it, because we had a little avenue in there to maneuver around, and it was a one-boat spot, and that's it.
Can you, this is a question, someone wanted to know what an umbrella rig was, because you were talking about that, and they just didn't know what an umbrella rig was.
Don't know what an umbrella rig is. Okay, an umbrella rig is a wire, 4 wire arms with a lead in the middle of it. Okay, I don't know how I can draw it. How can I draw it? Yeah. I mean, it's just a rig that you tow through the water like that. If you looked at a side view of it, and you've got teasers coming off of it here, and you've got 4 worms and hooks coming off it, and you tow it through the water, and it looks like a school of fish. Okay, it's called an umbrella rig. You know, but and we were catching striped bass and bluefish here, and we knocked the socks off them. But like I said, we'd been there for like 3 days, and we had it down to a science, because we had it when the tide was slack, the buoys were all up, so we knew where they were. And then you just have a mental note with the bottom machine and with Loran C at the time, and so you knew exactly where you were. Where somebody else, no matter who it was, I don't care who came along, they couldn't do it. They just couldn't compete against that, you know. But anyhow. A million stories.
It sounds like you got to write a book.
No.
I mean,
well, that's Jerry.
we could do this for probably hours, I would assume, right? With stories.
What are you going to say about your grandfather running it?
I wanted to say this story. I was probably 12, 13, 14 years old. I was just starting out.
Who said to have the fire? My God, it's as hot as can be in there.
Anyways, 12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. Working for my grandfather on his Lady Margaret. It was a 41 Hatteras. And it's about I don't know, 5 in the morning. So the sun's just starting to crack the sky, and he's got to go downstairs and use the bathroom. We got 2 guys jigging. It's a hard ebb tide, and I'm young, real young. This is the first time I've ever been upstairs as far as behind the wheel.
How old were you?
12, 13, 14, somewhere in that range. You know,
How much time was he going to spend in the head? Do you have to go number 1
Well,
or number
he's-
2?
I think it was 2. I think it was 2. He's listening right now. So he tells me, come upstairs.
It has a bearing on how long you're going to be in the head. It wasn't meant to be
And I
funny.
noticed on the machine he moved the boat off to the west. And I don't know why I remember this, but he moved the boat down tide off to the west. And I see the guys jigging. I could see the rip back there. The sun's just coming up. And I said, I see this line on the machine. I said, we're nowhere near it. So I start jogging the boat a little back to the east over this line. And all of a sudden, both rods double up. And I'm a kid. I'm 12, 13, 14. My grandfather's nowhere in sight. And these guys, the rods are going, the line's going. And I'm like, what the hell do I do?
Yell to your grandfather, get in the cockpit.
I'm yelling, and I used to call him Gamp as a kid growing up. So, Gamp, we got him on, and I didn't know any better, so I took the boat out of gear on a hard ebb. I don't think he was doing number 2 after I took the boat out of gear. He came running up. You know what he said to me? He's like, "You got him." He said, "You got him." As a kid, I'll never forget that. It was the first time I'd ever been touching a steering wheel on the water as far as a big boat. And
Can I ask you what happened since then? Because you've run the Blackhawk a few times, and I've never seen both rods going.
well, no, because we drift, and I think I had like 15 guys
Okay.
with some sea bass on one time.
I'll tell you a funny head story. Okay, I was running a boat down to Florida. I had to take a little yacht down to Florida, and I took a dear friend of mine who, again, is most of my friends. These guys are dropping like flies. Uncle Louie is dead and gone, but Louie was my senior. And anyhow, to make a long story short, I had to go to the John. And we just made it down to Florida, into Florida waters. And we're starting to see a lot of boats. And I call Louie up. And I say, listen, the boat's on the pilot. Just keep it going straight. If you can override the pilot, if something gets in your way, I'll be right back. I get down in the head. And when I pulled the latch to the head, I pulled the handle off. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in the friggin' head. And I'm looking out the window, sailboats going by. I am screaming as loud as I can, Louie! I'm pounding on the door, I'm pounding on this, I can't get out. And then I'm saying, I don't know the owner of the boat that much. I'm looking at this mahogany door or teak door and saying, I wonder how much it costs because I'm going to break it down. That's all there is to it, you know? And I can't get a hold of him, man. I'm screaming. It's not that big a boat. He's right above me, you know? And I'm looking out the window. There goes another boat. I'm saying, holy God, we're going to get in a freaking crash here, you know? So I took my glasses off, and I got the thing open.
You picked the lock?
I picked the lock. I didn't even go to the bathroom.
With your glasses? That's a new.
I had to take a leak.
That's impressive.
I got down there when I pulled the handle. I said, oh my God. So I get up there and I'm mad as a hornet. I said, Louie, for God's sake, did you hear me? He says, yeah, I heard you. Well, what do you think I'm screaming at? He said, I thought you're having trouble with the head. That's what he said. I mean, I'm ready to break the door down. You know, figure, you know, it's going to cost $1,000, $1,500 to fix the door, but it's better than losing the boat.
Hey, I thought you were having trouble with the head or going...
I don't know. I didn't ask him. I didn't get into in depth with that, you know.
Boy.
But God, I'm telling you, Jesus. What do you think, Flounder? You ready to go?
You want to go fishing?
Do you want to go fishing? Do you want to go? What? You wanna go? Yeah, come up here. Come on up here. Oh, you're such a good girl. Yes, yes. You got to get rid of this winter weight, like CJ.
Like you.
Like me. Yeah.
Flounder, you're...
Any questions? Anything?
No, someone said that was impressive lock picking, and I'm going to agree with that. That's never heard that before.
From Heather?
I don't know. Oh, Heather called me. Wait a minute. Let's see what it is.
Boy.
We have a question. Stand by, the CEO of the whole operation here, Heather. Do you have a question? Somebody yet? Jerry Betsy from Outdoor Life said I'm a terrible artist.
That's not the first time we've had that comment.
I tried. I tried.
I think it's okay.
I think you did good on the umbrella rig. That's a tough one to.
Do anybody say hello, Randy? Any other questions?
Okay.
George Dowers invited you to go to New Jersey and go trout fishing if you were up for
Okay,
it.
see ya.
George doesn't want me down there. Oh,
George, he doesn't catch very many really, and they're very small.
yeah. Well, maybe he gets bigger fish down there.
Maybe he gets the Jersey trout.
I still won't catch him. I'd like to think I'm pretty good at trout fishing. If I catch one on the day, that's a win for me. You know?
You got to set the bar higher. Really.
2?
Oh.
Anyway.
How much time have we been? Do we got any more time left? How long have we been doing this?
It's 7:30, whatever you want to do.
Really?
I mean, you could tell stories for days and weeks. I can't compete with you tonight. You are.
Jerry wants me to tell the shark story. We were on a whale carcass, and one of my mates, Dan Porter, it was kind of funny because well, it was kind of stupid that he got on the whale, but on the pulpit, I was telling
Well,
you.
didn't you make him? Didn't you tell him?
No, I told him to see if he can get on the whale. So he's at the end of the pulpit, and he's holding on to the pulpit, and he's on the whale. Now you got to understand, the whale's 40 feet long by maybe 5-6 feet in the air, and it's as slippery as can be. It
Stinks too.
and it stinks. And their bite marks. There's white shark bite marks. We didn't see a white shark right at that moment, but believe me, they were there under the carcass. Okay, we just didn't happen to see them. So I told Dan, I said, "Well, get out there and see how slippery that whale is." Yeah. So he gets off the pulpit and he's holding on to the pulpit, and he's
Jeff's saying no way.
He's going like this. He says, "Yeah, it's pretty slippery."
Oh yeah.
You know, I said, "Well, let go of it and let me take a picture of you, and I'll take a picture of you quick." And when he let go of that pulpit, you want to see that boat back up in reverse, man. He's on top of that slippery
You left him
rail.
on the whale?
I left him on the whale,
Oh,
and he's hanging on the whale. Get me, man! He's screaming and yelling, and you can see the bite marks. And I'm yelling to him, "Go ahead, jump! Jump!"
How long did you leave him on the whale for?
You probably thought it was forever.
Oh yeah. He probably thought it was.
I left him there that night. I picked him up. No, I left him there, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes.
That's long enough.
But he didn't move, man. I mean, he was riveted. Yeah, you got bite marks that, I mean, they're like this, I mean, holy God,
What did he do to you when you got back on the boat?
He was pissed.
He was pissed.
I got a nice picture of it, though, yeah. That was
A
funny.
few choice words said to you.
That was funny. I'll tell you, you want to navigate. I'm trying to think of different subjects. Ben Rathbun was leaving Noank on a November morning from Noank going to Montauk, and myself and John Wadsworth. It was just the two of us. We were going out market fishing for bluefish and striped bass. This is when there was no. This is. What's that?
It's flounder. She
Oh,
wants
it's the
her.
dog over
I
there.
thought it was the fire.
I thought something was in the fire. Flounder, what do you want? But anyhow,
Like the
we
box
were,
of shotgun shells I put in my father's years.
we were market fishing. We're going out to Block Island to slaughter the bluefish and the striped bass. Just John Wadsworth and I. And John has since passed away. Dear friend, good fisherman, good boatman. And we're coming out of Niantic. And Ben's coming out. This is kind of funny. He's coming out of Weekapiza at the east end of Fisher's Island, and he's talking to Chuck on the Viking Star. And I can remember, I don't know, remember Ben, how he used to go like this? He'd straighten his throat out, and he's talking to Chuck, and so we're on an intercepting course. We're about 5-6 miles away from him, and I told Johnny, I said, "Johnny, let's go right at him. Shut all the lights off in the damn boat, and let's run him right down." So Ben's talking on the radio to Chuck, get back and forth, and all of a sudden Ben says, "Geez, Chuck, I got a target out in front of me about 4 miles. Man, it's not a light on. It must be a damn sailboat," he says. Son of a gun. I'm looking with the glasses. I don't see nothing. And that was it. They went on to talking. We're getting closer now. We're now 2 miles. He says, "Jesus, Chuck, I don't know what the hell this thing is. It's going to run me down, for God's sake. It's 2 miles away. I can't see nothing with the glasses." And we're coming, man. Okay, well, we get about a quarter of a mile from him, and we're coming 14 knots right at him. He pulls the boat back, turns all the lights on, man, right? He's honking the horn, so, he's trying to, and we pull up alongside of him and wave. He was livid, let me tell you. Pitch dark, didn't know who we were going to run him down, But, I don't know, it's just a different Different story. Navigational story. Got a million of them. Got any stories you want to show?
No, I
We
don't.
were Jeff here. Jeff, we were outside sword fishing. One of the best days I've ever seen.
Oh gosh, I saw 50 that day.
Oh, I had 2 fish. I think you had what, a dozen?
I think we stuck 14 or 15. You picked up one.
I picked up one of yours.
Yep.
They had so many fish around them, swordfish around them, that they were putting anything that floats. The heck with balls. They had
Life
fenders,
preservers?
life preservers, tying them together, sticking a fish, putting 3 life preservers on it, and letting it go. I mean, it was an incredible
cool to see
day
that.
when they used to pop. Man,
If you
that
had a
was
regular, if you were rigged for that occasion, you could have stuck 100 fish that day.
it was unbelievable. And then there's other days out there when we don't have a plane, where you look from horizon. There'd be stick boats and planes all around you. Remember the E. Carl Rice from Point Judith?
Yeah.
Eastern rig boat. You'd look from horizon to horizon
Roll in.
and see balls everywhere, and you'd never see a fish because those fish are all 8, 10, 12 feet underwater. The plane would see them and direct the stick boat to them. If you didn't have a plane, couldn't do it. Couldn't do it. Anyhow, give us some comments back, okay? We'd like to take. We'd like to see comments and everything, and what you'd like to see in these seminars. We're coming to the end here because the fishing's going to start pretty soon. But, give us a text or give us an email or send us a letter. Tell us how much you hate them and we shouldn't do them anymore, and get CJ and I the hell off the airlays. And
Yeah, I gotta say, you took the torch tonight. You were good.
yeah, but
that was good.
you had a hell of a story, though. As a young child catching your first 2 fish on a charter boat. You probably offended somebody because you were at the helm and you weren't licensed, and we're probably going to get some feedback. We probably aggravated somebody.
We screwed that up, didn't we? Then.
Yeah.
Anyways, like Greg said, if we're doing anything right, if we're doing anything wrong, please let us know. We'd like to know.
We'd like to talk about anything you'd like to talk about. So give us an email, give us a text.
Like
Thank you for coming over here and adding your 2 cents there, Jeff Meek.
You got it.
The man, the myth. I caught my first giant tuna with this guy. My very first one, 516 pounds. What did we catch it on?
Live pollock.
We caught it on a live pollock. That's right, man. A long time ago. God, I was excited.
Was there a legal size on the pollock?
I don't really know. There wasn't when I was doing it. Of course, this was before electricity and running water.
Well, I just want to say, if we're going to offend people from my story, maybe we could, Anyways.
If I could catch a giant tuna on every one of them, I really don't care what I would put in the water. I could put an 8-inch striped bass in the water. If he was going to climb on it, I'll get it. Yeah.
That being said, guys,
Catching them fish isn't everything. It is the only thing. That's it. That's what we got paid to do. Okay. Okay, folks.
that being said, we're going to end it, and we'll come up with something like Greg said. It's probably coming to the end here. Another couple of weeks, maybe, because we got to start fishing soon.
Yeah, we're going to get the boat back in the water. We'll be squid fishing before you know it.
If we are missing anything on the seminars that you guys would like to see, phone them in, text them in, message them in, whatever you guys want.
Call Heather.
To do it.
Call CJ. Half of you got CJ's telephone number. You want to give them your cell phone number?
No.
Your cell phone number is 860.
We don't need any more. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
Okay, thanks, folks. Hope you enjoyed it, okay? Have a great day. We'll see you again.
Stay safe.